think it depends really on the person, and I hope that bloggers will be responsible. They have been trying to work out some kind of ethical code for them, and I hope they will have this ethical code so that they don't abuse this powerful media.
Apart from the blogs that you have, you also accompany it with Facebook and Twitter. What's the experience in doing this? I mean, is it too much for you? Are you comfortable with it? How did you get started?
Yeah, but I don't have enough time to read everything. But even with my blog, I just cannot reply to all the questions that are asked. But anyway, it is an index of the interests of people. See, if they are interested in your opinion, of course, they can either access my blog or the Twitter.
Yeah. Do you think professors should have blogs?
Yes.
And reach out to their students?
Why not? Why not? I mean, it is a way of communicating with people.
Okay. At the same time, some institutions of higher learning have banned, for example, Facebook and Twitter, from being accessed on campus. What do you think then?
Well, it's good and bad. On the one hand, it's a way of communicating with people who you have some dealings with. On the other hand, I mean, you may spend too much time on that and not on the real work that you have to do.
Okay. All right. And something else is, about the MSc when you started it in the 90s. It was a big thing. Are you satisfied with the way it's going now? And also at that time, you gave assurance that the internet will not be censored. Yet in your blog, I think about 2 or 3 weeks ago, you said that because of some materials on the internet, that it's damaging, a part of the society. So where do you stand now?
And well, the MSc, for example, is still making progress, but I would hope that it will make faster progress. The community that we expected to be resident there has not happened. People are not resident there, not interacting between them. That is, not what I had hoped for. With regard to the censorship of the internet, I gave this assurance because I never thought people would abuse by making use of the internet to corrupt people's mind. But today it is quite obvious, and many people have the same opinion, that the pornography that is available on the internet is affecting the minds of young people, and there are much more juvenile crimes, serious juvenile crimes today than before.
Okay. Is there a way to combat this?
Well, if the governments of the world are agreed, then of course we can ban this thing from being put on the internet. Countries should be made responsible for anyone in their own country putting dirty things on the internet, but we cannot persuade all the countries of the world, so we have to devise some technical ways of blocking these unethical things from getting into the internet.
Yes. Okay. Next, we know we are running short of time, but again back to the English language. English is, I think, the first language used on the internet. About 27.5% of internet users are communicating or using English on the internet, and the second most popular language is Chinese or Mandarin, with about 407.7 million people, about 25%. What is the implication to Malaysians in terms of, do we have to, as you said this morning, we have to master English to gain that knowledge, but at the same time, the Mandarin is also there, picking up very fast. At one time, China used to ban the internet, but now it's open. Yeah, and Mandarin is the second language, and Malay is not even in the top 10.
Well, if you use Mandarin, then it will be confined to sources which use Mandarin as their normal language of communication. But the rest of the world use mostly English. So I think when you learn English, you use English, then you gain access to almost all the information that is available through the internet,
Yes.
even those that come out in Chinese.
Okay. Do you think we should learn Mandarin then? So that we can benefit from both English and Mandarin.
Well, you can do that because there is a big Chinese population. 1/6 of
Yes.
the population of the world is Chinese.
Yes.
So of course you can reach this 1/6 if you acquire the use of Mandarin.
Okay. All right. Back to one question from another OUM student, Teo Boon Leong. He asked, "Are we on the right track towards Vision 2020? Will we achieve that goal on time?"
I think it is quite difficult simply because outside events have affected our growth, principally the current financial crisis. But Malaysia also can do other things. For example, we have been concentrating on foreign direct investment. That is not coming in, not because of us, but because actually there's not much foreign direct investment in other countries also. So we need to focus on domestic investment, encourage people in the country who have successful businesses and industries to grow bigger, and this can be done by government giving them support. Like before, we used to give them incentives for FDI, and now we should give incentives for the locals so that they can become world-class players, and that is one way of growing the country and achieving Vision 2020.
Okay. And then how does this relate to the making the nation, what you call this, have a high income economy?
Well, if you choose the industries that you support, industries with higher added value, then you are going to make bigger margins, and then you can afford to pay more. And that is, of course, something that is has been achieved by many countries.
Yes. Okay. I think a lot of people have this fear when we talk about the high income economy. We may be getting more salaries, but at the same time, things will move. Things will become more expensive, and then in the end, what's the use of having this, higher salaries and so on?
That is unavoidable. But the question is whether your salaries give you greater purchasing power. Not necessarily that it is due to the cheap prices of things that you have to buy, services and goods. Even if that goes up, but it doesn't go up at the same rate as your increase in salary, then that is all right.
Okay. All right. Last question, Tun. Students, our students, OUM students, they're mostly working. I think about 95% are full-time employees, and they have many challenges. Time challenge, financial challenge, and of course we do have some attrition rate. But for those who are in the system, is there any last-minute advice that you can impart to our students?
Well, make full use of all your time and whatever finances you are accessible to. To regard this education as a very important thing, that it is worth sacrificing time and money for.
Okay. All right. Hanim?
Okay, thank you so much, Tun, for spending your time. Perhaps, Tun, just as a parting shot, we know we'll be celebrating our 53rd Independence Day, Merdeka, end of this month. Perhaps can you share with us your wish for this year's Merdeka celebrations or Independence Day?
Well, I hope that everybody will participate, and that this too much emphasis on racial benefits and all that will be disregarded, at least during the Merdeka celebration.
Okay, and put forward a harmonious front. Okay, so thank you again, Tun. It's been such a great honor to have you in iRadio OUM. For the rest of you listeners out there, stay tuned to iRadio OUM. And just for your information, if you're viewing our live video, you see a lot of people in the temporary studios. We have with us our beloved Pro Chancellor, Yang Amat Berbahagia Tan Sri Azman Hashim. We have our Vice Chancellor, Tan Sri Anwar Ali, and our Senior Vice President, Prof. Mansur Fazil. So stay tuned to iRadio OUM. More interesting segments are up ahead.